Hey, greetings and salutations there guys, Coach Stephen here, and I've got a little bit of a treat for you today. So what I'm going to be doing is taking you through my personal workout, and this is also a lot of what I do with my personal students. So I have a variety of tools laid out here, and I'm going to be using each of them. Each of them serves a very specific purpose, and they each teach you something about your body, about movement, about kinetic energy, about leverage, about momentum. They each help you develop physical intelligence, and the utilization of these tools will help you maintain and develop a healthy, functional body that is good for performance, but also cultivates longevity, so health and well-being. So here I have some nunchucks. This I don't want you to think of as a weapon in this context. What I want you to think of this as a tool, a movement aid, a training aid. So it's very useful in finding planes of motion and articulating fine motor control and outputting energy in a controlled manner. So for example, here I'm just going to whip it from side to side. As you can see, there's a natural sway that will take place in the body, and this sway harmonizes with gravity. It harmonizes energy, kinetic energy across the body. And if the tool isn't moving effectively the way you want to, it's immediate feedback that you're doing something wrong, which is very useful. Obviously you want to be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself, but yeah, move through. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of different patterns. So here, for example, we'll start off with a rotation, maybe do like 10 repetitions, so do like a horizontal, and then you can play with extending through the body to really stretch out the abdomen and connective tissue. So normally I would have a more fixed routine that I would have a beginner do, say 10 movements like this, 10 movements like that, and run through patterns. But this is going to be a little bit more freeform because I'm talking a lot and it's difficult to follow patterns and improvise and talk. So yeah, just great warm-up, stretching out the tissue, playing with rotation in the hips, rotation from the floor, from the ball of the floor, ankle, ball of the foot, ankle, knee, hip. So you're getting rotation and dropping, compression in the abdomen, activation of the core muscles, connection between the hip and the shoulder, compression with rotation and dropping. So you're harmonizing or timing or coordinating all these different elements, which is very functional, very practical in real-world application for throwing, climbing, pulling, pushing, twisting, lifting, being a human in reality, basically. So yeah, we've got these horizontal movements. You can play with diagonal movements or these oblique plane movements. Again, whipping through on an X, you want to keep one hand out of the way, you don't want to hit yourself. Perform multiple repetitions on this X plane. You go on the other side. Again, you want to incorporate using the hip, extending through the body, using the legs, using the body. You want to harmonize and bring as much of the body into play as possible. So you've got this X pattern, you play a tight X pattern. And again, this is nice sway for the hips, for the spine, for the neck, coordinating shoulder blade, the shoulder, elbow, wrist. And you can time it, you can just do little circles, and again, this is going to be very good for the body, coordination. Okay, we play with just doing switches. This is nice basic coordination exercise. Also takes the shoulders through a nice healthy range of motion. Same with the wrist and elbows once again. And it's quite mentally stimulating and engaging. It's not mindless repetitions with a barbell. Not barbell training, everything has its place, but I like all of this as well. I think everyone should include this kind of training, and if you come train with me or you join one of my classes, I'll teach you all this stuff step by step, piece by piece, to give you a more functional, healthy body. Okay, and then you can play with larger movements, whipping through. Okay, so we've got this X. do vertical. Yeah, I'm going to switch on to the next tool now. So yeah, we'll do some staff, a little bit of staff. Normally I would actually start with the staff and basic exercises. So you want to have flexion, or rather flexion and extension, flexion, extension. You got radial and ulnar deviation, this hammer movement. You got circumduction, rotation. So all these basic micro movements that the joints can do, you want to explore different range of motion through the body and use functional range of motion. Reintegrate those movements into your nervous system, into your understanding, into your ability to coordinate and use them practically and functionally. So basic rotation, basic ulnar and radial deviation. You can incorporate that more into the movement to use more end range of motion, bowing the body, reaching back with the shoulder, flexing, pointing, flexing. Yeah, so I'm going to run through these fairly quickly because if I do the full routine, it's going to take half an hour plus, and that's just too long a video for what this video is meant to serve the purpose of. So I want to give you guys an overview without chowing too much of your time. So pointing and flexing, you can do this in front of you, you can do it to the side, and this starts to use different muscles, especially in the back and the shoulder blade. Very good for shoulder mobility and stability. So you do a couple repetitions like this, maybe 10, 15 repetitions. Then you can switch by adding, so instead of just pointing and flexing, as you come down, you'll do a rotation. And you'll see that the palm goes from facing this way to facing you guys. Then you can do a switch. And then once again, you want to look for a sense of flow. You want to harmonize with the tool. It should become an extension of your body, and every motion that the body takes or makes should flow and be economical and efficient and purposeful. So you've got these different movements here, very good for opening up. If you've got like carpal tunnel, a tennis elbow, typing too much, using the phone too much, all of these type of movements very good for opening that kind of thing up. Yeah, you can have thirds here, so holding it up, third there, third here, third in the middle, and we can do a tuck, rotation overhead, tuck, and yeah, another great movement. Mobilizing the spine, thoracic spine rotation, core engagement, oblique engagement, stretching, fascial loading, rotation through the body, utilizing the body as a functional system, coordinating. So here, bringing it up overhead, turning it across, looking for that end range of motion, looking for the rotation, loading tissue, letting it spring back, following, feeling the natural path of rotation that the object has. It has a momentum. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, inertia, but you can guide that inertia and momentum and shape it the way you want to. So you start becoming, you're a shaper of energy. Avatar. Shape energy in the form that you want it to be, you want it to take on a plane of motion. Action. You can play with switching arms, bending the knees more. And if you've got a bad back, these type of exercises, you've got bad back, bad knee, bad hip, bad ankle, this type of exercise will help you. Obviously you need to start at a point that you're capable in and work through you know, the easy regressions, the simpler exercises, and then build progressions piece by piece, up, 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 up. I can't go through all the little pieces because, you know, that's depends on person to person where you need to start and what you need to do. But you can use your brain. You're intelligent. You know, you're a human being. You've got a good functional brain. Start by feeling how you feel. Where is it sore? Move, shift, take that sensory input, process it. Okay, try something a little different. Is it better, worse? And follow my videos. I'll give you a lot of tips. How to human 101 with Coach Steven. Okay, so you've got these switches, got front rotations here. It's also a nice coordination exercise, good for the wrist. Well, yeah, sometimes you'll lose grip on the instruments, so make sure we're still recording. Yes, we are. Okay, switch. This is a weighted staff, so it's significantly heavier than what most people use to spin. Just throwing that out there, relevant piece of information. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to move on to the next tool. There's tons of other stuff you can do with the staff. I mean, there's various whipping and energy pulse techniques. You can see it's very good for muscle activation and energy propagation, but I'm not going to get into too much of that right now. Okay, put this down nicely. Okay, here I've got some Indian clubs. These are also very nice. You can start off very basic, you know, point flex, radial and ulnar deviation, much like a hammer, much like you'd use a hammer. Pa, pa, pa. You can explore these flexing movements. Once again, you want to go in a rotation. Whoop, 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 whoop. Flexion and extension. And you can go bigger and explore range of motion within the body. You can change your stances up to your leg position. So you can go staggered. Yeah, I'm not looking for very powerful movements, but I'm looking to load the bounce potential of the body, elastic potential of the body, trying to find an alignment that creates like a bowing effect. There, launch. There, launch. It's very good for your fascia, the elastic tissues in the body, coordinating your muscular system, your fascial system together. Don't want to get too technical now. You can play with X patterns, swinging the wrist. Okay, let's try a couple of X patterns. Here I got a small X pattern in front. You can alternate hands, so it simulates the beginning of throwing. You can make it bigger. So for example, this is a pattern I teach. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. And you can play with stepping as well. Normally have guys just start off, you know, basic pattern, just get this line, get this line, get that line, get this line, and then the back, line in the back. Start off simple and build. Once your confidence and competence grows, then you mix things up. So you've got these X patterns, you can double up on the same side. So you can maybe just do 10 repetitions like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, for example. But you know, I'm going to keep changing it up because I've got a lot to get through. Horizontal, the hip switch. You can play with stepping back, stepping forward. You can tighten up on the handle. This will allow you to get faster switches. Boom. Open up again. The bigger switches. Keeping one tucked. Okay, different circles you can make. So you can go big circle, elbow circle, wrist circle. So wrist, oh, my hands are fatiguing. Wrist, elbow, shoulders, and shoulders, elbows, wrists. You can play with. Ready? Lines here. Woo. Rotation. Okay, I can feel my grip. It's now fatiguing because I've done a bit of work already prior to this video. So I think I'm just going to take 2-3 minutes, let my grip recover, and I'll show the rest of the tools. Okay, so it's been about a minute. I walked inside, I grabbed a beanie just to differentiate the video a little bit, make it look a little bit different. I've caught my breath. The burning sensation in my grip is now alleviated for the most part, but I am just going to start stretching out these muscles a little bit, especially this way, going back to loosen the muscles and tissue here on the front. There's various ways of doing this. Straightening out, like, whoo, that is intense. Now I use the computer a lot and the mouse a lot, so tick, 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 tick. This gets very tight. So there's different ways you can stretch this out. And you can do this on the floor as well. So when you get into these types of positions, this is very good for stretching out tissue in the forearms. High. Good. Play with stretching up onto the fingers, stretching down onto the fingers, putting a little bit of weight down into the wrists, but you want to have your weight controlled and back, so you're not doing too much. You want to control how much weight you shift into the wrists. Play with the position of the wrists and the angle of pressure. Very controlled. Yeah, just stretching a little downward dog, upward facing dog. Play with rotation. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next tool. So we did a little bit of nunchucks, we did a little bit of Indian clubs, we did a little bit of nunchaku. I got a power stone here that I'm going to do a little bit of as well. So this is a training tool from old school, like ancient training. We're talking 2,000 years plus. Warriors used to use these types of training methods, develop grip to core sequencing, be able to coordinate your grip through the muscles in your arm, into your shoulder, into your core, to be able to manipulate and move, twist, have a good powerful effective grip that you can use to move things, pick up, twist, throw, lift, pull. Very good for developing these types of motions. There's a few simple patterns you can do to start off with. Just moving it and swinging it also gives you a very good sense of momentum. The object has a load, a weight here at the end, and that load, when you swing it, has a momentum, and you can harmonize with that momentum and use it to move the object with relative ease if you sequence and coordinate your body, that the movement energy coordinates with how you change the position of your body relative to the object, and here you can control it with relative ease. Put it where you want it to go. Whoa, a little bit of balance, and once again, simpler movements. Okay, catch in, press, take it off to the side, bring it back, catch, press. That, for example, is one motion you could do. You could do it on the other side, same thing. Catch, you can press it out to the front, you can press it out up, you can take it to the outside, which stretches out here, ligaments in the wrist. You do this in a slow and controlled way. If you've got weak or imbalanced joints, you might hurt yourself. If you've got healthy functional joints, this will be no problem. It's even good for you. So you can see you can use that to control. Very good for biceps, shoulders, forearms, hand muscles, grip, even moves into the core. And you can sequence and pull and shift and catch, and pull across, take around the back, breath, overhead, back. And yeah, just a very nice tool to help develop your physical attributes and skills for martial arts. Yeah, it's more swinging it, which requires quite a lot of strength. Grip again once failing. Okay. Let me not tie myself up too much, but yes, more stuff we can do with this. Okay. Yeah, this is some of the concept. Longer stick, more leverage against you if you're holding it at the end. Once again, sway, rotation, coordination, timing allows you to manipulate and operate the tool or object effectively. And this translates well into grappling, striking, things like wrestling, judo, Muay Thai clench, all that stuff. Okay, got these basic swinging movements, and you can play with connecting to the core, stabilizing this load, rotating and moving, pressing. Oh, I'm getting tired. Get it. Okay. Woo. Also, you can hold, take it behind the back. It's a little bit more advanced, but you know, I could teach this stuff to you in under 2 months. Everything I've done here, 2 months training with me, just about anybody can do this stuff. Woo. Okay. Okay. Bump it out to the other side. Over the back. You can use 2 arms. You can go both ways. Yeah, very good for shoulder mobility and coordination. You can use it to flex, back, flex, back. Many ways this can be used. You can also swing it, much like a club, mace, stab with it, club with it, thrust, 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 snap, thrust, thrust, X, call back, many movements. Okay. Woo! Jesus. Yeah, but this one I think I'm going to take 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I can feel my body needs a rest, that my performance will be better with a little bit of recovery time. Cool. Hope you're enjoying the video. I'll throw another section in a moment. Okay, cool. Jumping back in again. So it's been about 2, maybe 3 minutes. Caught my breath. Lactic acid is cleared from some of my muscles. Once again, focusing on breathing. Oxygenating the blood, bringing your mind into the present moment. Embody this moment, embody your nervous system, how you feel right now, in gravity, in different positions, always changing and adapting, connecting with the moment. Breathing, oxygenating the blood. Okay, here I've got a rock. This I generally just have new guys just pick it up, hold it for a while, hold it in different positions, and see if you can use your body structure. You see now I've connected it in with my hip, that I could hold this for a long period of time, or a relatively long period of time without fatiguing, but if I hold it like this, I'm going to tire very quickly. Whoop, lost my grip. So playing with challenging your muscles in inferior holding positions or positions that have mechanical disadvantage, like get away from you and up. Especially if you hold it far away. It's very challenging versus, connecting it. And yeah, you can just like rest it on your hips and your pelvis. Okay. So yeah, picking it up and putting it down, crouching down, getting into a full squat. This is also something I train my clients with. It's one of the fundamental things. You need to be able to sit in a resting deep squat and then develop that into a functional transition movement from squatting to standing, squatting to half kneeling and lunging and sitting, but all that stuff will come. Okay, so playing with this, okay, now roll it from side to side, curl it up, put it on a shoulder, roll it down, curl it up, put it on a shoulder, and try to focus on one-arm movements. You can switch it across the chest. This will teach you how to grip and manipulate an object and curl and activate your lats and connect your body in ways that lifting weights just won't teach you. Play with pressing, so stabilizing in this position is also very good. Stretching out the muscles in the wrist, forearm. Yeah. Finding a nice stacked position. Pressing, balancing, bringing it slowly down, switching. I can feel my arms are failing. So I'm just going to try one on this side. Pressing. Obviously you don't want to drop this on your head. You just want to move if you lose your grip. Okay. And I've got two more things. Screw it, I'll do it now. I'm tired, but let's just get through it. This is a piece of pipe. Nothing special, thick, high pressure water pipe. I'm using it to make something else, but I figured, just grabbing a piece of this, fingers in, thumb out, or thumb in, fingers out, very challenging for the grip. Woo! And you can play with alternating grip, catching. Obviously you don't want to drop something like this on the bones on your feet, or break the bones on your feet, but yeah, you can play with catching. Not going to do too many of these. You can play with swinging it up, catching, turning, grip. This is actually something new. I've never done this with it before. It's maybe a little bit intense, but you can tilt it up, point it down, tilt it up, point it down, tilt it up, point it down, switch, point it up, point it down. Let's see if I can get it all the way around, back, all the way around, back. You can see it's a very compromised grip position, but I'm just playing and challenging myself with new things there, like that I've never had anyone do before. So yeah, you can play around, play. Like that I've never done before either, but hey, experiments, play. Okay. And then this here was a piece of my makiwara, my old makiwara that broke, and I was breaking the rest of it up into firewood. And while carrying it, I realized, hey, carrying it is a fucking good exercise, man. Very good. Like just holding it, I guess. Whew. Very challenging for the wrist and the grip. And you can play with tilting it. You can play in a point and flex. Yeah, my wrists are pretty hammered. I've got a private client coming shortly, and I've got a coach again later this afternoon. Can't kill myself too much. But yeah, that gives you a bit of an overview of many of the tools I use in my personal training and in my coaching, in my classes to help develop, to help people be more human, man, to be more themselves, to develop their functional ability, mobility, strength, connect with their body, help them improve their health and function over time, to just be happier, healthier, more functional, man. Connecting with what you are as a creature, as a living being. And I personally believe that this stuff really helps you connect with that in a way that's very primordial, very real, very visceral. I encourage you to train, get out there, climb trees, climb mountains, go for hikes, play with things. Yeah. Be playful, be inquisitive, be explorative, be creative, be you, be human, and connect and engage with that, embody it, breathe, just do your thing. Cool, much love from me to you, go well, do well. Oh, okay, hopefully you can, yeah, whilst I was packing up and grabbing my stuff and going inside, oh, I realized, pardon me, there was another thing I wanted to show you guys, which I just forgot about it until I saw it now. Fuck, let me just fix this quickly. I'm going to pause. Okay, yeah, fixed it a little bit. There we go. So I've got here a bucket of sand. This bucket is a bit of a bitch to open. Freaking half the workout is opening the bucket. My hands are staffed. Okay, so I've got, come on! There we go. Got a bucket of sand, which you can see. And yeah, this is just good for exfoliating the skin, you know, that's my sole reason for using it. No, but it really is. But also just digging into it and getting your hand as deep as you can, you know, lifting up, squeezing the sand. Squeeze. So you go in. So you shoot in, grip, squeeze, turn, in, grip, squeeze, turn. Hopefully you can see. Grip, turn, grip, turn, grip. So penetration, grip, turn, penetration, grip, turn, penetration, grip, turn. Do this for a few minutes. Okay. And then you can hit it as well, obviously. Okay, just dig in it, play in it like a kid. Scrape your fingers in and through it. There's quite a lot of resistance. Oh yeah, of course. Dig, grip, turn, and then lifting the fingers back like this in the sand. Because the grip reverse like this is very weak. It's like a crocodile's mouth. Strong down, weak up. So, you know, just playing with trying to press the fingers up and out through the sand. Very good. Okay. for that. I'm not going to be doing a whole thing of this. I just wanted to show it to you guys. And closing my bucket. And I see I scratched open an old little scab there. This is nothing. You don't have to worry about this kind of thing happening all the time. This is more of a freak thing, just scraping open a loose scab. A little bit of blood.